In this 2D motion graphics tutorial, I'll show you how I animated a simple, clean YouTube introduction in HitFilm Express. I begin by making a new project that's 2 seconds in length, 1920 by 1080, and 30 FPS. I click on the New button and make a new composite shot, making sure it is 2 seconds long. I add a plane for my background I add a second plane with a different color. This will act as my guide for the line animation. I twirl open the transform options and change the Y position to -340. This places the top of the plane 200 pixels below the center of the frame. I also scale it to 50%. Add a new point to the timeline and rename it. I then move it to the top left corner of my guide. I duplicate this point and move it to the top right corner of the guide. I move the guide layer to the top and search for Light Sword 2-point Auto under the Effects panel. I then drag the effect onto the guide layer. I change the blend mode to none and the distortion to 0. I turn off the inner glow and change the stability to 100. Under the hilt option, I change the position to 0.1. Under the tip option, I change the position to 0.2 and the Y position to 0. Under the tip option, I changed the extension to 0 and add a key. I moved 15 frames forward and changed the extension to 100. On frame 15, I add a key for position for both the hilt and the tip. On frame 30, I changed the Y position to -200 for both the hilt and the tip. This means that after animating on screen, the line will move down 200 pixels. Now I can move on to the text. Add a text layer, type out a text, and change any of its properties that I need to change. I move the playhead to 15 frames so I can see the entire line. I twirl open the transform options for the text and change the Y position so the top of the text is sitting just underneath the line. I need to add a mask in order to hide the text before the animation begins. I add a new plane layer with a red color, just so it's easier to see, and name it Mask. Under the Transform panel, I change the opacity to 50% so I can see the other layers. At the 15 frame mark, I drag the mask up so it covers the text. Under the Effects panel, I search for Set Matte and drag the effect onto the text layer. In the Controls panel, I set the source layer to mask and the blend mode to subtract. This hides the text as long as it is behind the mask. On the first frame, I add a key for position for the mask and copy this to frame 30. On frame 1 second and 5 frames, I move the mask up so the text is revealed. If you have a request for a tutorial, a question, or a comment, feel free to leave a comment below the video. If you're interested in learning more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.